Nate Silver urging Biden to reassure voters or stand down. Stop with the easy stuff, Logan. Actually go and reassure voters or become a hero and get out of the race.
Saying it is time for Joe Biden to read the writing on the wall and let somebody else come in. But Jordan, it feels like it's getting a little too late in the game for that.
I mean, it does. Every single day it's getting a little too late. He said that Biden needs to reassure the American public that he's capable of handling public appearances that aren't on easy mode.
The guy has worked his entire life to become the president of the United States.
Yeah, and we're telling him to go.
And now everyone, including his own side, is saying, you got to stop. Well, look, I understand why. I don't think he's the right fit for the presidency. I do think his age is showing, but I do feel for him a little bit being the leader of the free world and being told, and a guy who is representing, sadly, half the country at this point, saying, you got to go, and his own party's own people saying it's time. But again, I don't think that's going to happen. He's not going to go down easy. He's not just going to say, I'm out here. I think
there were moments when I thought it could happen.
Yeah.
You don't think it'll happen?
Pending an emergency situation, that's what I said with Trump situation. Too. Pending any kind of health situation.
Yeah.
If I'm him, why would I? I don't get it. Maybe for the betterment of the country, if you will, sure, that would be great. But that's not how politicians think. If you go to 2016 or you go to 2020, really, you go to 2020, the Biden campaign, the gaffes he were making were more, like I said, they're more George W. Bush. A word slipped out to this word to this word. Yeah. Now it's statements, it's people, it's mistaking a lot of things going on.
Ezra Klein, a columnist and podcaster for the New York Times, called on President Biden to end his White House bid and go out as a hero, as if suddenly if Joe Biden is not the candidate, that they are the Democrat, unnamed Democrat, Logan, definitely wins. And I don't know if that's true.
So yes, I think Biden, as painful as this is, should find his way to stepping down as a hero. That the party should help him find his way to that, to being the thing that he said he would be in 2020, the bridge to the next generation of Democrats. And then I think Democrats should meet in August at the convention to do what political parties have done at conventions so many times before. Organize victory.
In our lifetime, has that happened? Or in maybe the last 100 years?
Was it Kennedy? Or was it Ted Kennedy who kind of made a move?
He tried to primary Jimmy Carter. Again, that was before our lifetime, but I just know that from history. Yeah. But it didn't work. So it's saying like, this happened many times over and over again. Let's let him go out a hero. Now, I do think there are ways to take a victory tour, if you will, even if you disagree with him. If anything I've learned from the world of professional wrestling, there are ways to write and script this to where he can have a nice and pleasant, last hurrah, if you will, but that is simply, look, we've seen President Biden. We've seen his attitude. We've seen the way he snaps. We've seen the way he talks to reporters. We've seen the way he talks to people. That is not in his DNA. His DNA does not say, give up and take a victory lap. I really don't believe it. As much as I was hopeful that we'd have two brand new candidates and we'd have something fresh and interesting this go around.
Going to have that.
It wasn't going to happen, and it's not going to happen pending any sort of medical emergency. Take that out of it, which I think you have to take that out of it.
Hey, listen, that could be
for anyone.
From 80 to 40 to 20.
It doesn't matter. Yeah. That could just happen.
It's more likely.
It's more likely if you're in your 80s. And if you're in your late 70s.
So Donald Trump would be 82 when he's done. But I heard something interesting this morning, Logan. That was this. When people see Donald Trump, they don't see the same age as Joe Biden. Right. So it's not so much the number. Because people are living older, they are working older. Yeah. We're not all done at 60 now, like it used to. So it's not just the number, it's the kind of like vitality.
I just remember us growing up being like, Ronald Reagan, he was such an old president.
Well, these guys would be like that.
Yeah, if not older. They are old. They are older. Yeah, they're the oldest president. But Joe Biden, I believe, is the oldest current president.
Is he already the oldest current?
He's in his 80s, right? Joe Biden's 81, Jordan. Yes, he's 81 years old.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Yes, I'm sure.
They just don't celebrate it.
Well, yeah, they don't. They don't talk about. He had an 80th birthday party, I think. Did he not? I don't know. 81 went by. We share very similar.
Ice cream at the beach.
Yeah, I don't know. Donald Trump is 77. So
big difference there, actually.
Both of them. That's not pretty young. Similar. That's not a young man.
Listen, I don't think in our country we want young.
No.
Young. I mean, now I used to think that like 40 plus, you weren't young anymore.
Yeah.
Now I'm starting to think, are we a country where it's like 55 plus?
I think 50s. I think early 50s.
Because like musicians are still 40 and like...
Well, it's because all of our music is now oldies. I mean, I think that's why. That's why us just aging than it is anything. But no, I do look at that and go, what's probably the proper age? It depends if you want someone with business experience, you want someone with political experience. What do you want out of your president?
Yeah, like how much experience?
And you want them to have the gravitas to go overseas and to assert some kind of authauity and respect.
Yeah, who is that unnamed Democrat now? Gavin Newsom?
That's the thing.
People are beating up on California every single day?
People have said, is Kamala everyone's vice president? If Biden drops out.
So.
You have a brand new ticket? You have a brand new I'm asking the question.
I think if you push Biden out, you push that whole team out. The whole team goes goodbye. KGP, God. Okay, she has not been helpful.
No.
I mean, she has. They put Joe Biden, whoever was on the team that decided that night that Robert Hur's report went out and decided to put Joe Biden out to all those reporters who were going to start screaming, and they thought he was going to look cool and tough. I think since that moment, Joe Biden has lost the election.
It was tough. That was a moment.
That was the moment.
And then, look,
he forgot where he was.
Jon Stewart, The Daily Show, took a lot of heat, actually, for spending an entire episode pretty much saying this was the turning point.
Doing?
This was the turning point where everyone said, what is this? What are we seeing? And I think that's true for a lot of people. You
didn't have to do it. First of all, people don't watch the news like they think they do. People don't live and die by what KGP says on Fox News.
I think a lot of,
they could have caught their breath.
I think a lot of Democratic voters, and some Republican voters as well, they're not focused on 24-hour news.
Was it a Friday?
I don't remember exactly.
Was it Thursday or Friday?
It was headed towards the end of the week, for sure.
and I feel like it was rushed out, and they told the reporters scream your questions out, which they never do in Biden.
Yeah,
and he was.
It felt
totally
like he was
lost.
overwhelmed. Yeah, which honestly, probably you all would be in that room.
Listen, most people couldn't do what these people do, and as they get older, it gets that much harder for them to do what they do. But I think if you're going to go in there with a new team, first of all, that better happen very soon.
I think Michelle Obama decides to run. That is a very difficult road for conservatives.
Oh, yeah. But
almost, I don't want to say insurmountable, but almost insurmountable.
I think it's a difficult road for her.
Yeah. I think she
has to run against Donald Trump, who's going to be really nasty.
Yeah. And we had a discussion about Michelle Obama as someone who has to really make a calculated decision. Do you risk, in the most partisan time in modern history, do you risk essentially the Obama legacy, which, like him or not, and I assume most of our audience was not of Obama voters, probably did not like him. You cannot say the guy didn't go down as probably the most popular president in our lifetime.
Sure.
So do you risk having your legacy tarnished when right now you're living pretty well, you're making a good living, you're not running the country. And if I'm Michelle Obama, I go, no.
Don't want to go against Donald Trump?
Right. I just don't see that being in the cards.